My thing that I know for sure is I really don't think there is a formula to work-life balance. I don't think this is how work-life balance looks like. I think it looks different for everybody. And I also think it shifts.
Dedication beats talent.
Any
day. You can have all the talent in the world. That's what I was saying earlier in terms of mindset. You still have to work.
Yeah.
You can be the most talented person in the world, but you will make it absolutely nowhere because you're not doing the work. Dedication will beat your talent.
The difference between a successful person or successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people just don't give up.
One thing I know for sure, death is coming.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all going to die.
Are you scared of death?
No, I'm excited.
You're excited?
Like, I want to know what's there on the other side.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I've always been curious about
You're curious.
the what do you call it?
Afterlife?
The afterlife.
Hi guys, welcome to our channel.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Over 25.
Yay!
Oh my god, it's been a month since we last uploaded a video on our YouTube channel, and even longer since we were all seated on one couch together doing a video. We took some time away to put our minds together and plan for the last quarter of 2022, and I think we're excited for what we have coming up. Are you guys happy to be back on set?
Yeah! I miss you guys so much.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
I think
awesome.
everyone, if you follow us on our individual Instagram channels, Lonzi Musheni, Just Ivy Africa, Miss Tiramisu, Jules_her, you'll see everyone is currently working on different projects individually. So if you miss us on our 25, please feel free to also go to yes, people have been busy, let me tell you.
Been busy.
Right? Go to people's YouTube individual Instagram pages or YouTube channels, wherever the people have content everywhere. But for Over 25, we are back, and we're back banging. We before we came together to think about what we're going to talk about today, one of us posted a post on Instagram. I don't know who it was.
Lonzi had asked guys.
Lonzi asked guys, what do you guys want to hear from us? And we thought, as a way of coming back, we might as well start with an episode that one of you guys suggested. And I just want to give a shout out to her. What's her name? Michelle, I told you to be ready.
I had a responsibility.
I
had one job, guys, and then I went on the Instagrams. Her name is Terry B. Oko.
Terry B?
Terry B. Oko, who suggested here.
Okay, yeah. Terry B. Yeah, Terry B. Oko. Oko. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. Terry B. Oko. You said, tell us 5 things you know for sure, and I think it's such a nice topic.
Yeah.
Lorna, I don't know if it was Lorna or Ivy yesterday was like, the other day was like, Boosie, we just start with this one, and thank you. By the way, every time we upload stuff on our Instagram or on YouTube, you guys, our engagement is very high, so you do have to say thank you for that.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing today is 5 things we know for sure.
Yeah.
No, actually not 5 things. Each of us is going to give 2 to 3 things we know for sure. Yeah. So if you're watching, you already know, according to the title of this episode, X things we know for sure.
Yeah.
These are based on our own personal life experiences. And when we say things we know for sure, I think there's a book that Oprah has.
Yeah.
And it's called What I Know for Sure.
Yeah.
I've read that book. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's a really good book. And the premise is just that I might not know anything in life, like, you know, no one knows anything, even those ones who say, I know Jesus is the Son of God, but do you really know? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, on Judgment Day, you'll be like, oh, shoot, it was these guys who are right. I'm just making a joke. Don't take it sensitive. Christians, don't come at me. They're a bit too much sometimes.
You're already tired.
But yeah, it's like, but what do you know for sure based on your personal life experiences? And something about this, what I know for sure, I can also say is that what I know for sure is that what you know for sure now can also evolve in the next 50, 30 years. I'd like to know what, how old have I been 30 years? 60-year-old me would think of
Yeah.
this. So for you guys, I think you should take this as a time capsule, and then you come back,
Yeah.
15, 20 years from now with your kids.
Yeah.
You'll be like, this is what I was saying at,
Yeah.
at 34.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so let us begin. I'm going to start with Mama
Baby G.
Mama Baby G on the right. Lorna, start us off. What do you know for sure?
Sorry.
Something I feel like I know for sure is that life is not fair. And it will never be fair. It's actually quite unfair to a lot of people. It's more unfair to most people, actually. But I guess that depends on just where you are in life. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're unlucky. So the best you can do is just maximize on those unfair moments. Just try and learn, or try and make you unfair or like you're unlucky, lucky, but life will never be fair. There'll be people who will never have to work a day in their lives. There are people who, that's just life. Yeah, that's me. That's one thing I know for sure I've discovered.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll never be fair.
Yeah, I also think life can be a bit unfair. just in terms of sometimes the circumstances that you are born into or find yourself in out of no fault of your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we all start on different.
Yes. The playing field is not level. We don't all start on the same.
Level. And then even how you're born, how you look like. People are born with different playing field. People who are born into money have an easier start to life. But I don't know, sometimes I feel like it balances out somewhere, but it's still not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Like, let me tell you, when I went to study abroad, that's when I really felt it, because a lot of the Jews there, the white people from other countries, from the UK itself, I'm like, guys are like, oh, we're going on holiday, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Oh, I'm wondering if I should sell my apartment in Denmark so I can stay in London longer, and I'm like, wow, you live in a country where at 24 you already own an apartment, yes, because she started working part-time jobs from the time she was 12, 13. And she was able to buy an apartment with her boyfriend. So now they were trying to figure out if they're going to stay in London. Wow. Or, and I'm like, I even if I did a part-time job in Kenya, I wouldn't have been able to do the same thing. So yeah, I guess it's fair.
I don't know. As soon as Lorna said that, my energy sort of shifted because I get it. And I think for me, as soon as I realized that life sometimes is just not fair, what I do is shift and focus on the things that I can change and I can control rather than that. So I was just like, oh yeah. But then I was like,
rather than easy.
Exactly. Rather than, recognize that, that's not fair. Then now I prefer to focus on what it is that I can do and change in that moment in time, as opposed to thinking life is just not fair.
Yeah. Definitely you can't sit and wallow in your life is unfairness, which people do, and that's why we have, mental health discussions and stuff. But like I've been saying, there's ways to try and fix that. Yeah. And like you're saying, like sometimes it will be unfair, but sometimes it will be fair. Like there's usually some sort of balance, and it goes with seasons or periods. Like this time you're really struggling. Then next week something comes and it kind of brings it up back to the balance line, So it's just maisha the way it is.
And even the perception of fair is not the same.
Yeah, true.
Because again, because of our circumstances, what I feel is unfair to me is probably an opportunity to somebody else.
Yeah.
But it's so much better than what they have.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like that time there was this is such a random example. There was a drought, famine. I can't remember where, but in Kenya, and I posted it, and I was like, cows were being sold at a cow that can be sold for 80,000 Kenya shillings was being sold at 5,000 Kenya shillings. And when I posted, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel so bad for these farmers. Someone else said, hey, this is an opportunity. Go there, buy those cows at that 5,000 bob, figure out how to sell the meat. I don't know God knows. So it's like, you're right about perception of parity and fairness. Okay, that's just a random thought.
What about you, Eileen? What's one thing you know for sure?
I'm gonna go off what Lorna has said, and for me, it's truly thoughts. I know for sure thoughts become things. Mind over matter, which you appreciates. I was watching a TED Talk. I nowadays when I'm doing my makeup, whatever, I try to put a TED Talk just to start the day with some form of inspiration. And in this TED Talk, I hope I get this right, but they were saying your thoughts turn into action, your action turn into habit, your habit. I need to go back. Can I find it?
Yeah, please find it.
The opening of this TED Talk was so powerful. I'm just gonna blast it for the girls and later I'm gonna. And this is when she was, I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Okay, listen to this.
Have you ever heard of this saying? Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits.
I think that's something I've come to realize that it's one thing I know for sure. And I'm saying this, let me give the example of how a couple of years ago, I quit my job. I had no work for the first 2 to 3 months. I would call Shiki crying constantly that I didn't know where money would come from, how I'd feed my children, how I'd feed myself, how I'd pay rent, all that type of thing. And after crying for that 1 week, 2 months, blah, 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 and I sat down with myself, had a meeting with myself, and just told myself, I reimagined, okay, you've cried, so write a plan. And writing a plan is something else I know for sure. When it's here, it's useless. When you write it is when it works. Write a plan, and then I started moving towards that plan. And once your mindset shifts towards you being good or being great, the universe puts building blocks in your path. Guys, it's like
Wow,
magic.
you're speaking my language. Like today. I'm like 10 talk in the morning. Thoughts become things. Who are you?
Someone who knows these things for sure because I've practiced them over a period of close to 2 years, and I was like, fuck. It works. I am a living testimony that your goals, even if they are so big and so scary, imagine just put them in your head, write them down, and then the world shifts to work for you. It's so weird. I'm telling you guys, it's like, well, magic assisted with work, but it's like freaking magic. So nowadays I really try to talk to myself very, very positively. I had a very negative outlook of myself, and I'm very hard on myself, and Shiki knows that. And so nowadays, just speak positively, and guys, thoughts become things, like a joke. Thoughts become things.
Yeah, we used to see that. Thoughts become things. It's vibration.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll be saying vibration.
But you but you have to work.
Of course you will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When you will be inspired into action.
Yeah.
And now the action that you're taking is in alignment with this thing. It's not just
it's not just thinking and writing it down, then you see it. It's
That's just the start. As she said, when it's up here, it's first of all it's useless because in my experience I feel like, and maybe you can tell me if you felt the same way. When they're in there, it's so easy for them to be the thoughts or ideas to be discouraged. Oh yes. Once you may think about them and you're like, hey, I can do this. One, I think it's easy to discard. You talk yourself out of them. Yeah. So I think when you're in that space, just start. Just start. Don't say, okay, I'll figure it out. I don't think I have the money. I don't think I have the connections. I don't think. If you just put it and say, and just start with the small bits that you have. I want to start a new podcast. Oh, but then how come you put it contradicts? But then
just start.
Yeah. And even just off that, Mel Robbins, I was listening to Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, a book of hers, and she said it literally takes you 5 seconds for your mind to discourage you from something that you thought. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I've practiced it. It actually really helps. So once you think of something, say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go and you do it before you discourage yourself. The points that you made for mindset, that was exactly what I was also going to say. I was going to say mindset is everything, but exactly what you're saying. The space that you put your mind in really changes your circumstances.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it really does.
And even the human brain, that's why I always say, so long as you're thinking, think big. The human brain is not wired to hear the word no. Don't think of a car. What have you thought of?
a car.
So think of a big car, and then things happen, and then you get your big car. But I love Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's
shared something
it.
about that. I don't think so now.
I love that.
I shared that. There's something I shared in Europe on the beauty. On IG.
On
Yeah.
IG,
But yes, mindset is everything. And I think I'm happy for you, Ivy. I'm happy that you're going into that place. And you continue to grow and expand. And yes, yeah.
Please start.
What about you, Shiko? What's one thing you know for sure?
All right, so I'll skip that one.
You were gonna say that.
Yeah, and even the way I started it, I'll just jump off what Lon exactly that. Okay, so something I know for sure is that there are no coincidences, or there are very few coincidences. But and this is something that scientists dispute. Like, it's a conversation. And according to scientists, they say that in a big enough population, then it may not look like a coincidence. Because if you're enough people, and they say, I think I read something that said if you're at least 23 people in a room, you're bound to find a coincidence. But the reason why I say there are no coincidences is because I think over the past maybe 2 years or so, not a long time, the instances where I'm just like, oh, what a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. I'll give you an example, a recent example that comes to mind. There's a party that Shiv and I went for recently, a few months ago. I was not going to go for that party. I was kind of like, maybe, I wasn't really feeling it. Shiv, I think, was not even supposed to go for the party, but he ended up going. And then we ended up meeting someone who Shiv ended up doing business with 2 days later. And like, it has changed the trajectory of his business. And this was just based off, like, we went to the party, we only knew the hosts. We're like, maybe we sit down, we sat somewhere and started talking to someone, and just like that, something grew out of it. And there's so many such things that have happened to me personally, to people that I know, to us as a group. We're like, this has been sent to us. You know, and you feel like the universe is something to you. Yeah, so I don't see them as coincidences anymore. They are the start of something. You might not know what it is, but it's something. There's something there. Yeah. Synchronicity, yes. Yeah.
Wow, hey, you guys are deep. What's good? What if it's been growth? Like, major. You guys have been reading.
I like that.
I love it. Oh, I love that.
I love that.
I don't believe in synchronicity. I don't believe in coincidences. I think because I've always looked at life, I'm always like, there's something else going on here. I feel like that since I was young.
Yeah.
So when those things happen, and the thing is, once you start to see them, you see it's everywhere. To the point you're like, did I think this thing happened, or did it happen and I already?
Yes.
Yeah, and it can be little things like you think about somebody, and I don't know, like, it's the little things. Like, oh, I'm craving yogurt, and then someone is like, does anyone craving? We go to snow cream, and you're like, did I think it? And then they said it, they didn't say it. Like, you know, and then you learn to trust those little intuitive nudges, follow them through. For me, that is God guiding you. And and just there's something Ivy said about when you think, write it down, whatever. It doesn't mean now when you start at night it's like this. This thing of thoughts become things, become behaviors, become character, become habits, The reason maybe you have blocks is because your thoughts, you have a block, you have some resistance, it's because you have a way of thinking that has been cemented previously. That breaking down can also take some time. So be patient with yourself, be patient with the process. When you see somebody is soaring, maybe more than you, and you're wondering how come I thought and it happened, but mine it hasn't. Maybe in that area she doesn't have resistance. In that area she has resistance. So you just, I get to see there's a lot of discouragement that people have in this self-improvement space. You know, because they're like, this is bullshit. It doesn't maybe works for you. It doesn't work for you because the thing that you really, really, really want, if you really think about it, is the thing you don't have. Yes. Why? Yet you're able to attract your yogurt very quickly. Or you're like, I feel like going on a holiday. I'm saying let's go, but then there's another thing, it can't happen. It's because the thing you really, really want, you really, really want it, and you're also, it's the one thing you build the most resistance against because you focus so much on the lack of it. That is all you're seeing, they're not having. So when you discover how to focus on girls, let's not do it right now. But anyway, I can do it. I've said it before, yeah. So there are things that are easier to come into your life, then there are things that are harder. And I think the juice is, those things that are hard is just be patient with them. Because once it happens, you live and realize, you'll be on the next thing. You'll never have enough. It's not done until you're dead. So enjoy the process. So remembering to enjoy is hard because all these things, they present themselves as problems to solve. So that mindset of, oh my God, it needs to change from negative to positive is where I think that is the key that opens.
It's one of the hardest steps, I think.
Yes.
Changing your mindset.
I mean, if you say so.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, I'm generally pessimistic by nature, which I am on
Again, if you say so.
Yeah.
My mom, what my mom says, she's like, the power of the tongue.
Yeah. But I again,
as a man thinketh, so it's a mindset thing. A mindset can shift. It can.
Don't be so quick to label yourself
To label.
a certain thing.
Yeah.
Don't put that label on yourself and own it. Strong black independent woman. We were talking about
Yeah,
the other day at lunch. As soon as you slap that label on yourself, other people will see, they'll work on it. Yeah, so just avoid that labeling. We also talked about our children. Avoid labeling a child naughty. It's just a naughty baby, that's a cheeky baby. Once you put those labels on people, it actually affects in a way. Yeah.
Instead of saying bad girl, what is bad is the behavior,
It's the
not the
behavior.
child.
So we are taught to say, you're a good girl, I don't expect this behavior from you.
You're not supposed to be a bad girl. I mean, I say it as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just
Sometimes,
you're being a bad girl, but it's the behavior that is bad, not the child.
No, not at all.
Wow. Yeah.
Julia, what do you know for
What I
sure?
know for sure, even I am.
For certain.
What I know for sure is, you know the challenges you have in life, or the weaknesses you have in life. Maybe a weakness that is innate to you. That you know when you're told, can you give yourself what is it called? What analysis? SWOT. There are some, so the weaknesses you have as a person, and maybe the challenges you face in life, the ones that are, it's like they're everyone has a big pain. What's your big pain in life? I know for sure, and I believe and I know that thing that you're trying to figure out is directly aligned to like your core purpose. So once you realize that this challenge, this big thing, big or small, whatever, this thing that you see is a recurring thing in your life is actually here to serve you, I think it will open up. And it open up opportunities for resolution. Okay. And it is aligned to your purpose, I believe. Okay. So the way sorry guys, there's been a difference because electricity disappeared suddenly, but now we're back. Can you even see I've changed my sitting position? I was trying to find a way to say what I'm saying. So the way I wrote it down here was your weaknesses and life challenges are aligned to your coming of self. And not just any challenges, but especially the recurring ones. Okay. The ones where you feel like I'm always dealing with this shit. Okay. I'm always dealing with this shit. And I was trying to find an example. Like, for example, maybe one of your challenges is that you think that you're not hardworking enough. Maybe you think you're lazy. And it's a recurring theme in your work, in your job, in your relationships. You're not putting in effort. And then you self-deprecate, whatever. You hate yourself so much for this thing, and but you don't realize that this thing that is one of your biggest challenges in life, especially with something that you've been dealing with for a long time, especially those things that come from childhood trauma. You're like this because this was your environment. Your attachment style is like this because of this. For me, those things, I know that they're not the things you say it's unfair. They're the things that once you start to embrace them and accept that this is the challenge in my life, that they are aligned to your purpose and to your coming of self. And once you start looking at them as something that is here to serve you, it can flip the script. And usually for me, it's not like you have this main one, but there are also now these other day-to-day challenges. Like let's say you have a huge caught in case in court, and you're like, why the hell is this happening to me right now? You know, and it's dragging for years. You're getting divorced. You're like, why?
Yeah.
Why me? Why not me being happy for 10 years with this, 15 years with the same person? And you realize there's a lesson in there that is so aligned to yourself. Like, oh, maybe I'm learning the idea of self-empowerment out of this divorce or whatever. I think that is something I know for sure. So honestly, sometimes, in fact, the problems that what I meant to say is, you know, when you have a problem, okay, this is what I'm saying. You know, when something is happening to you and it's so beyond your control, like, you're like, there's nothing you could have done to avoid it. Like, it's beyond your control. In fact, sometimes the bigger the problem, I know God's work is somewhere because so that's whenever I feel these small things are the ones that annoy me. But these big things, that things just happen so badly, you're just like, you know what? There's something here that I need to calm down and let go and let it come to me. Not even focus on.
Okay,
I think
so it's letting go.
Focus on it, you even push it away further. I really hope. Have I made the sense?
Okay. No, I've understood what you've said. It's
Yeah.
also something else that you've said before, and I've read it somewhere. It's sometimes in life things don't happen to you; they happen for you. That's how I've understood what you've said.
Yeah. The same
In a
thing.
sense, I don't know.
But I was trying to tie it to the Yani, because I think everyone has this thing that they're like, man, I need to fix this. How can I explain? Like, maybe
It's not what makes you different; it's what makes you special. I don't know.
Hey, mama quotes.
Yeah,
But I get it.
I'm just gonna say it. I wrote
Yeah.
it here, and I hope you'll get it.
Yeah.
Your weaknesses and life challenges are aligned to your coming of self. And by weakness, in fact, remove life challenges. Your weaknesses. The
Okay.
thing you know is your weakness.
Okay.
I'm quick to anger.
Okay.
I am fast to judgment. I am arrogant. I am whatever. Those things that you're struggling to fix within yourself, and you have such a negative perception about them. Those are the things that once those things, they are not negative, actually, they are positive. They are negative positive. They are positive negatives.
Okay.
Yes, and they are there to help. They're aligned to your papa, your personal individual soul expansion.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it in accepting them, or is it in
Dealing with them.
okay, fixing them? Oh yeah, is it in I was like, is it in accepting them, or
It is
what
in
are you saying?
accepting.
Okay.
It's in a radical acceptance of them. In that there is no self-hating. And there is no hating of the circumstance and feeling self-pity. Like, why me? Why?
It's unfair.
Yes, it's unfair. Why am I in this issue? Why am I dealing with this court case? Why am I dealing with this? And when you kind of go, you know, because you're like, oh, maybe I didn't pray enough. Oh, maybe there's karma. Oh, nini. Oh, maybe my parents, they transferred trauma to me. Oh, you're blaming. And when you just kind of let go and go like, this is like, you'll get a solution, but that coming of solution, it is tied to so many things in your life.
Okay.
But it's your core problem. Your core problem is not your issue. These are what am I saying? It is where your triumph will come. Whoever who can get what I'm saying and write it in the comment section, you know, maybe that's why you need a pastor to come and remove what you're trying to say and put it in a better way. But that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Okay.
More so your personal challenges. You know, the one you're like, man, I wish I can't speak up for myself. I'm so soft spoken. I'm so nini. That thing of hating yourself for that thing which you had even no control over. It is completely
doesn't serve you.
It is completely aligned to your purpose. So it is not there to limit your growth. It is there to expand your growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through the acknowledgement that this is something I can not fix, this is something that I can work on to improve me.
Not can. If you don't work on it, I don't feel like you'll have done what you came here to do in this lifetime. But when you do, and you do it in the mindset of I was not handed an unfair deck of cards, then you'll realize, oh my gosh. Okay, let me give an example. Somebody is born into a family where they are all gang members. This is a horrible example. I'm just saying this is an analogy.
Yeah.
So they become a very bad person. They are very evil, and they are very, what's that word to say somebody who likes to do revenge? Vengeful. They are very and then you maybe fuck, I've lost my train of thought. But what did you ask, Ivy? I'll remember.
So let me go back to your example that you said. What if someone realizes they're quick to anger? Is it that, okay, so I've seen I'm quick to anger. I'm not going to sit in this and just stay quick to anger. I'm going to fix it.
Oh,
and then
okay.
it's going to serve my bigger purpose when I work.
Yes, there's that. What I'm trying to say is, it's not that if you can fix it or not fix it. You can decide to fix it or not fix it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're quick to anger and I am not quick to anger, that you being quick to anger, it's a weakness. It's not there to take you down. It's there to raise you, because you'll be the person who, once you come to full circle with yourself and able to understand this is where my anger comes from. Yes, in the fixing, you're the guy who will write the book on anger management. Those things that you think they're so unfair to your life, they are aligned to a bigger calling or bigger purpose in your life. I don't speak up, opposite of anger, I don't speak up for myself. And you hate that you don't.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is not fix it. I'm not saying go fix it. What I'm saying is that thing, it's so aligned to why God put you here. Because the way the universe is designed is that you're presented with problems to solve, not with the solution. Otherwise, if you just prayed and got everything you wanted, life would be so boring. We'd all be jumping off bridges because there's nothing for us. There's no problem to solve. The reason we wake up is because we need to do something to get something done. And we have to get something done by the absence of it. You know, like the nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, have I made sense?
What it has made me think of is, remember during our last meeting, it was before you came, Lonzi had showed us this guy who was an alcoholic. This guy who's an alcoholic and now is teaching people how to...
That's what I'm saying.
But he was an alcoholic, so was his wife. And she even died of liver cirrhosis.
Oh, the one she showed us,
the one she even died. And I think that didn't even snap him out. That's what snapped him out of it.
Yeah, I think when his son was like, look, you're also going to die.
You're also going to die. He also got liver cirrhosis, but he made it out. And now his TikTok is just showing people how to identify the signs.
I think what I'm trying to say, your greatest pain in your life, that's where your purpose lies. Don't look at it and say fuck. And you run away from it. That is where it's at. That is where it's at. That's why it's so big. And that is for me what I know for sure. So I like, for me, I know what my recurring problem, the thing in my life where so I feel like that is where my purpose lies. And then it's not one, there's this big one, and there's this one. So whenever things come to my life, where I'm like, I have no control over this. To say you're at the airport, your passport has been stolen, your money has been stolen, and you're stranded. It's such a bad situation to be, but those situations where you're like, what? Hey? That's the point where you're like, all right. It's not the point to cry and break down and, you know, dissipate.
Because that's what you'd want to do.
But what I mean is, it's whatever, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we've really dwelled on this. I've tried to put my point across. Maybe one day when I know exactly what I'm trying to say, I'll come and say it, but I hope I've delivered the message. The essence of it.
I think I get it.
So if you sit and you wonder, why is this thing always happening to me? Why am I like this? Why? You know those innate problems. Mbona mimi nikuanga hivi? Mbona mimi siwezi sema no? Mbona huyu anaweza fanya hivi? That is where you are. That is there's a big opportunity there. Okay. Lorna, what is your what do you know for sure? Number 2.
What I know for sure, number 2 is your life improves if you're in the right relationship. So regardless of if it's platonic, if it's
friendship,
friendships, if it's work relationships, like if you find yourself you're in some form of relationship and you're just struggling, you're unhappy, then it's not the right one for you. You know, even if, let's say you're dating and all the time, all you're doing is crying. All the time, you're the one maybe texting. They're not, like, why? What's happening? It's not the right relationship for you. If at work, you're always stressed, you don't sleep, you're drinking because of the stress, like it's not the right relationship for you. So your life improves. Your life is supposed to improve if you're in the correct relationship. If it's not, then your life is, the relationship is bad, your life is bad.
Yeah.
The people around you
That's very true.
Yeah.
contribute a lot to your happiness
Yeah.
and your unhappiness.
Happiness.
No man is an island, so be careful who you keep around you.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
who you keep in your energy. Yeah, because that shit will rub off on you, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. They can bring you up or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bring
even
it
just think
down.
of a plate of food. If you're mixing flavors that don't work, the food will be so disgusting.
The whole meal
You know, the
sucks.
whole meal will suck. So just basically any form of relationship. Like if it's, that's
In a relationship with yourself.
even with yourself.
oh, that's true.
I had a very powerful conversation with a bunch of people recently. And this is what I do actually when a conversation is edifying. I pick up my phone and I write down. If I have a notebook, I'll write it down. And I was just like, my God. How I'll start this, something that I know for sure, is that dedication beats talent. Any day. You can have all the talent in the world. That's what we were saying earlier in terms of mindset. You still have to work. You can be the most talented person in the world, but you will make it absolutely nowhere because you're not doing the work. Dedication will beat your talent.
Yeah.
This man was saying this is a very well-traveled man, cosmopolitan, been everywhere, and he's a successful man himself. I think actually near financial freedom. And he was saying the people at the top have half their talent. They have 50%, 30% of talent. But what keeps them going is consistency and dedication. And we're discussing this in light of the Gen Zs. And there's this trend right now called quiet quitting. You guys have quiet quitting.
I've been
Yeah,
seeing
where
it.
You do the bare minimum.
You do the bare
Just
minimum.
exactly what you've been called for.
Yeah.
And they were saying the few Gen Zs that they have seen and whatever, there are some who are absolutely brilliant. But there are some who, and this is what he said, they want to arrive without doing the work. I've arrived.
Isn't that what they also said about millennials?
Us.
Even us, even us. Yeah, the ones before us, Gen X, also said the same about us.
yeah.
Just want, I
So
get it.
honestly, based on what I've seen, especially when it comes to consistency,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how creative you are, or whatever. And I'm saying this as, sometimes I call myself a lazy creative. I'm like, but even if you're that lazy creative as Julia told us, if you say, okay, I'll do 5 lazy things in a week, like 2-minute videos, stay consistent, and it'll trump your creativity, your talent, any
Yeah.
day. And here's the thing I want to tell people about dedication and consistency and motivation, and I'm going to repeat. I've said this severally. In no world, in no space, in no time, forget me, look at this camera, will motivation ever precede action. You will not wake up and say, I need to look for motivation and find it before you do the work. You have to do the work first. And then that will compound into more work, more action that will now set you onto a path
Now you're
of consistency,
motivated.
and now you're motivated.
Yeah.
There's no way you'll get motivated before you do the work. So dedication trumps talent. Action precedes motivation. And if you're watching this and you're feeling low, okay, how do I start? Start your day with a completed task. Even if it's making your bed, even if it's journaling, even if it's working out, even if it's showering. Start your day with a completed task, and then that action will now follow with more motivation. Those are one, but in 2 things
But
that I
in
know
2.
for sure.
You know for sure?
For sure,
No,
for
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm talented, but the days I don't work, I literally don't eat.
Yeah.
If you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
But I know I have the talent.
Yeah.
Even back to Mel Robbins, still 5-second rule. How she arrived at it is she lost her job. Like she had no job at 41. She was broke. Like it was a whole mess. And she was not motivated. That's how she ended up with the 5-second rule, because that it pushed her into action. And just the way you're saying, start with small tasks. The task she started with is getting out of bed, because she was unable to get out of bed. She was depressed.
On the couch the whole day.
Yeah, she wasn't doing anything. So she started simply with getting out of bed. Yeah.
I think for creatives, it's also important to hear that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because sometimes you're like, I'm not feeling it, so I'm not going to do
I'm
it.
not
I'm not
always
going to write.
creative.
I'm a writer. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Gilbert, she wrote Eat, Pray, Love. She has a podcast. I forget the name. And she was saying one thing she does is that she'll write for 1 hour a day when she's writing a book.
Yeah.
She won't wait to get the inspiration from above to write. There are times it happens like that, but more times than not, it doesn't. So she says, I will schedule time. Even if I write 3 lines, I'm going to schedule 1 hour and I'll sit in front of my machine. I write every day for 1 hour. So that's, and it's the same thing even with the gym. You're like, I'm not gonna go because I'm not feeling it. I'm tired. I'm done. But there's no time to go to the gym. Even if you do, you give 70-80% rather than 100%. There's no time after the gym. You're like, why the fuck did I do that?
Never. You always feel good.
You always feel good after. Like, I can do this again tomorrow.
You always feel good after. Yeah. It's usually now trying to tackle that mind of yours before it starts making excuses. That's why I used to find it easier to work out in the morning, because if I work out in the evening, I have all day.
You have the whole day
to be like,
to psych yourself out.
Yes. And then it's so hot. I'm going to work in the sun.
Then I had a bad day at work.
And then when it's dreamy. But in the morning, I'm like, I have 10 minutes
fresh
before she's like, we're starting class at 6. So I used to just wear my clothes when I'm asleep. But then the problem is once you fall off that wagon, guy, picking yourself back up.
It's so hard to get back on it. Ask all of us here on the couch.
Nimerudi, but
and mekuona.
I love it. I've always loved training, but it's me. My issue is consistency.
Even me.
My issue is being consistent.
And as we've learned earlier, actions become habit.
Yes, they do.
It's not motivation becomes habit.
Yeah.
It's action becomes habit.
Yeah. Even what you've said about
motivation is not habit. That is a good one. Can you put it on a t-shirt?
Motivation is not habit.
Motivation does not become habit.
Motivation doesn't.
Lonzi.
what I'm saying.
Oh no, and I was gonna say, please don't lose yourself.
Just what are you saying about dedication? I also just saw somewhere like the difference between a successful person or successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people just don't give up. They don't.
But what do you think about this thing though? Because I wanted to ask this, I also want to be a bit realistic.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you say you should be dedicated to something that you can be dedicated to? If you force me to be a saxophone player, but I want to be a writer, dedication will not make me a good writer. But you know what I mean when they say
it's not just open-ended.
Pick the vocation that you know you can deal with the bullshit. Because every vocation has its bullshit. There's somebody who will be like, I can never be a writer. It's very depressing. You don't know where your income is coming. You have to go, your publishers are on your case. There's somebody else who's like, I would die to be a writer. I do not want to be in the stock exchange. And it's like, I want to just be finance. So why is my father forcing me to be a writer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, is it first finding the thing that is your thing and then have dedication? Do you get what I mean? I do. You get my question? But in the same breath, even though we're doing the things that we love, it's still easy to be unmotivated in these things. Because so I'm saying these things, I'm giving double-edged sword. I've talked about this and I know Christians are coming for me again. It's Christians, okay, and I love you and Jesus loves me too. But when I want to start the services of a psychic medium, he said you need to work on your gifts every single day, so that you can be motivated. And I said, but shouldn't I be motivated to work on my gifts every single day? He said, no. The space you're in requires a lot of practice, so that you can gain confidence. He didn't even know what I was doing. He was just telling me these things. Maybe he Googled, but anyway. He said it requires you to build confidence and consistent, and you have to work on those things every day, on those gifts. So I had to ask him, what are my gifts? But to stay motivated, because it's easy to be unmotivated. Yet you're doing something you love. So
what I'll say to that, I think, might even go on to my other thing that I know for sure. But what I'll say is, let me give the example of how we were in events or how we were in agency. We hated our jobs. I don't know if the word hate is, but I didn't enjoy waking up at 4 in the morning to make sure I attended.
But babe, I thought you loved your job.
I was good at it.
She was good at it,
I was never motivated to wake up and do van branding.
Van branding, guys.
That after hours and hours of dedication and waking up daily and showing up for myself in that job made me good at it. And while getting good at this job, this experiential marketing, I moved to strategy. When I quit strategy, I became a strategist for myself.
Right.
So, and that was my, I guess, I don't know. That was my other something I know for sure.
Yeah,
is
go
you
ahead.
have to show up for yourself. Because someone asked me what helps you wake up in the morning. It's me showing up for myself. Even if you're employed, you are an entrepreneur in that employment. Don't think I'm working for Julia, I'm working for Ivy, I'm working for Shiki. You're working for yourself. The skills you'll gain at that job, the people you'll meet at that job, everything you'll do, it's for yourself. So that's the other thing. And then you said, shouldn't you find the thing first? No, the thing might find you. The same thing with mentorship. You'll never go out looking for a mentor to find them. But when you work on yourself and you end up being the best self you can be, a mentor will find you. They'll be like,
Please, can you do an episode maybe on mentorship? Maybe you can even do it on just Ivy or here on Over 25. Maybe you can decide, do something on finding a mentor, because I have no idea how to go about it. And I have 1 or 2 people who I think are my mentors, even without them knowing. But then how did you go? Like when the other day you were like, this I want you to come to my mentor's house. And I was like, I came. And I remember thinking to myself, how did she, like, did you pick up the phone and say, because people have reached out to me, Julia, can you mentor me? I always refuse. Not because I don't want to, it's because I don't think I believe in myself.
Even me, I'm like, I need to mentor myself first.
I need to mentor myself first.
Can I mentor myself?
So maybe you can talk about that at the pin that.
I'll be very interested. Yeah, I'll be very
talk about
interested
mentorship, because I think
and I'll put my mentors there. Actually.
Yeah.
Let the conversation be there with my mentors, because one of my other mentors said the shortest path to success is mentorship.
Really?
Hey.
And do you think mentorship is for everybody? Like it's, or is it just in finding the because I've always thought like a mentor needs to be somebody who you connect with on more than just Jobo and whatever. Like on a personal level, you connect as individuals.
You have chemistry.
You have chemistry, just like any other relationship. What I know for sure, it's from a question that I've been asked in almost every little interview thing that I've done on lives, on newspaper stuff. I've done interviews. How do you maintain work-life balance? We had this conversation recently.
Moms hate that question.
Because is there really? And so my thing that I know for sure is I really don't think there is a formula to work-life balance. I don't think this is how work-life balance looks like. I think it looks different for everybody. And I also think it shifts. Because my answer to that question always is something that I've probably even said here. I say it all the time, is that the way I look at my life in different factions. There's myself, there's my family, there's my love life, and there's my career. At no one point do I sit down and I feel like, girl, all your factions are working great. I don't think there's such a thing. And it keeps changing. So I think the best way to look at work-life balance is first knowing it'll keep shifting and being okay with the different seasons. In this season, maybe I'm feeling a bit, about the way I am parenting my kids. And it's getting me down. But at that time, I'm making bank, like I'm securing the bag. And that might be why I feel like maybe I'm not doing too well in the parenting section. Another time, maybe it's that jobos are not coming in. But at home, like we're laughing every night. We are so happy. I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with my partner. But I don't have money. So I think the way to look at work-life balance, maybe this is what I know for sure, is there are different seasons for your balance. Your balance will change along the way, and it's okay. It's fine, and I think that in itself is the balance.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's the balance.
That's powerful.
Hey, wow. I'm learning new things.
We really learn from each other on this set.
Even people who are not mothers, I feel like I can really take away from that.
No, everyone, because everyone has their different... I mean, you're not just... Julia is not one-sided. You're Julia, the creative. You're Julia, the lover. You're Julia, the this, the that, the that. The daughter, the sister, all the parts that are very important. Yeah.
Are you guys finding that in this life of content creation, where we're now entrepreneurs, that you're more busy and there's more things to juggle than when you were in employment, going to sit in the office 9 to 5? It's so much harder. Like, and I don't mean hard. The money can be so sweet, but I just mean like, I'm like, man, I think there's so much work.
There is. And you're the one who has to find the work.
On, but you can't do that with entrepreneurship.
So what I would say, you won't eat.
Oh, it's true.
You won't eat.
You have to be switched on the whole time. The whole time you have to be switched on. That's when when I
Yeah.
shut down and I say I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
Please
Don't.
And don't wake me up and don't me. I want to sleep like me. I have rules.
Yeah. Even
I'm
though you're
already
sleeping.
during I sleeping up and I'm such an overthinker and I even struggle with sleep. But then the reason I tell you guys like I'm not gonna do this because I'm going to be asleep.
Yeah.
It's not because it's because I
Struggled.
I can struggle. People who take naps and I can't take
Yeah,
naps.
must really be nice.
Yeah,
eh?
people who sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours straight. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard for me when there's a lot going on in my life. Even if it's good, I don't sleep well because I'm so excited. My mind, and I'm like, I need to wake up and write this down.
Your
oh my
brain
God, I
can't
forgot
shut
to do
off.
this. Yes, yeah. And I tried melatonin and I did it once and I was like, what? I'm not doing this again. Oh, melatonin, the natural
Yes,
sleeping
yes.
thing. Babe, I was asleep the whole night, but I was awake. I knew it was 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Then
but
you
I was
did melatonin.
Maybe that thing was creepy. I think I was having an outer body experience, whatever they call it, for 8 hours.
It was like
I was like, Shindwe. I was like, Mom, take your things, buy things.
no, thank you.
No thanks.
Whoa.
Anyways, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
One thing, damn, my titties are really, I'm feeling it.
They're looking nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Good job.
One thing I know for sure, death is coming.
Oh yeah.
So, we're all gonna die.
Are you scared of death?
No, I'm excited.
You're excited.
Like, I want to know what's there on the other side.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
I've always been curious about
You're curious.
the what do you call it?
Afterlife?
The afterlife. Like, I'm like, will I be dead for long and then I wake up, or will I just go
A new
and go
place.
and I'll never wake up?
Come back as a cockroach.
I know.
I can be so upset.
I'd like to know. Will I be
happy.
aware of my consciousness? Will I be aware of my life as Julia, 1988, born in Nairobi, Kenya, in Pisha Hospital? Will I know? You know, I'm excited. Will I feel the love of God? I don't know.
Will you feel the death?
Yeah. Will I
Happening.
feel the death? I think I will feel the
Yeah.
drifting off because, like, for example, all these people who have died and we know, like, what's this guy? Apple guy. Steve Jobs. Remember what he said when his last words? Remember his last words? He was like, "Oh my God, it's so easy. It's supposed to be." We're gonna Google.
Thank God for Google.
What's his name? Steve Jobs' last words. There's two or three people who their last words have always blown me away.
There's even a show on Netflix about it. It's a documentary on a few people who.
Yes, it's called Near-Death Experience.
Yeah.
You should watch
Very
Near-Death
interesting.
Experience. So anyway, so Steve Jobs' final words were, "Oh wow, oh wow." Oh wow, oh wow.
Those are his final words.
Yeah, babe, because I think he saw the bright white light and yeah.
Whoa.
But does it depend? Because I feel it depends on how you're dying.
If you're
And
sick and you know.
if like the acceptance, if you've come to terms with it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, can you imagine the struggle? You'll be so scared of dying if it happens all of a sudden. You know, in his situation, he knew he was dying.
Yeah, he knew he was
He was
dying.
probably on morphine.
I guess if you're
not
being-
in
if you're
pain.
being, like, you're being,
yeah. Can you imagine the panic? Yeah.
But I think the moment of death is
Like
peaceful.
maybe when you let go.
The moment of living, I believe. I don't know. I'm not saying I know for
Okay.
sure, but I said what I meant to say is for sure. What I know for sure is that we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And I wanted to combine it with, because mine are done. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We're all gonna die. So death is coming, and it's not something that we should be scared of. There is a God, and not the. I don't want to use. I know by using God, a lot of people are like, which God?
Yeah.
The God of Abraham, the God of the Buddhists, the God of. All I'm saying is, I know for sure there is a higher power.
Higher power.
And I know for sure that this higher power it's like we are both together in this. I feel like they are just here in my subconscious. And I feel like I'm being guided through life. And a lot of times when I'm going through shit and I can't, like the moments I let go, it's like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. I can handle.
Okay.
And the times I can't, I think it's because I'm disconnected to this
To your higher power.
higher power that's guiding me, and to me that's God, and me I choose it to be the God of Abraham because me that is the faith I grew up in. So I believe with all my heart that there is a God, there is a higher power, and this higher power actually loves me. I didn't believe that when I was a Christian in high school. I used to be like, for real though, like, you love me, and then these are my problems. You love me, and these are my challenges in my home or whatever. But then I'm like, oh, so these challenges are actually they're designed to be part of my growth.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I meant actually with the point number 1.
Okay.
So I do believe there's a higher power, and I believe that this higher power is here to guide us. And the moments we have very, very big despair, it's fine, but it's because we are pinched off from how the higher power views things. Because there's always a solution in the problem. Problems always beginnings of solutions. And finally, that change, pain. I just wrote change, pain, growth. Change is inevitable. Inevitable.
Yeah. Yes.
You're always going to face a situation where you have to come out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
You can choose to stay in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
But there'll always be change is inevitable. I just feel like you can't just stay the same. Like, why did you move this? How comes nowadays electricity goes at this time and not this time? So you get pissed by things changing. And I feel like in those changes, all those changes are all opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
I am saying this also to myself because sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
This is another thing about self-improvement and personal development. You can motivate yourself as much as you want, but honestly, you have to keep reminding yourself these lessons because you have formed habits of thinking that are so hard to break from childhood.
You have years.
And then you read a book for 4 weeks. You think my friend, you'll be pumped up for a little bit, but then you go back. One thing the brain doesn't like, Ivy, I'm not talking to Ivy, I'm saying because she said the brain doesn't like, no. The brain does not like change. So the minute you're trying to adjust and improve, believe me, it's like Z. We know we created a system, we have to protect ourselves.
Spoil it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So change is an opportunity. Change will come with pain. That's why it's called growing pains. And those pains are there to serve you. Now, the juice of life, I think when you've cracked the code is when you're like, this pain, it's not that bad. Like there's a place in that pain you can find the eye of the hurricane in the hurricane. It's there. Me, I know it, but sometimes I forget.
Definitely.
So that is one thing I know for sure. Me, I know I'll crack the code to, I'll be now the Zen master of my life, is when things are just not going right and I'm able to stay calm. Like the eye of the hurricane. It's very hard for me.
Must be
nice. If I say it's hard, it's really hard. But in my past, it has been hard.
Yeah.
But I look forward to this 50-year-old me who will be like, damn, look how far we've come.
Man,
and I'll be here writing books on how to master your inner critic. How to make your pain your passion.
that even sounds like a book already. How to make your pain
from your
passion.
greatest pain will come your greatest triumph. How story of my life.
I love it. Love it. In fact, you've explained your point 1. Here in point 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to say. Bado sijaform. I look forward to the day when we look back at this video and be like, is this still what we know for sure? Our truths, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Oprah she's older, she's she's wiser and stuff. I wonder if ours will change and adjust.
They'll probably morph or we'll get more. I don't know.
All right, guys, we've come to the end of this amazing inspirational episode. I loved it so much. I've learned something.
That was a great conversation.
A good way to come back. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and if you have, please leave a comment on what you've taken away from this episode, or if you're just happy to have us back, leave us a thumbs up or a love heart in the comment section. We're excited to be back. We've been planning what we're gonna do for the rest of the year, so I mean, we're on a journey. We are taking you.
Let's go.
Let's go. As per usual, remember to give this video a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe.
It's free.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Over 25, subscribe.